Hey folks, Rich here at RCINFORMER. Today I have an unboxing and a kit review of the one of the latest planes in the DURAFLY line from Hobby King. This is the Curtiss P-40N Warhawk. The N model Warhawk I think was one of the most recent of the P-40 series, and I think it was the last one produced, but I'm not totally sure. It was a little bit longer than the normal P-40, which gave it a little better rudder authority and ground handling. And this receiver-ready plane from Hobby King looks like it's sure to be a nice one. So let's take a look at some of the specs, and we'll take a look inside the box. You can see here the specifications on the side of the box. Uses either a 3 or a 4 cell LiPo, so it'll fly on both. We'll probably fly them both out there for you, show you what those look like. 900 kV outrunner, so that thing really, that prop really spins up, it looks like. 9-gram servos, 7 of them in there. Length's 1,000 millimeters, and the wingspan is 1,100 millimeters. So 1,100 millimeter, again, real nice size. 11 to 1,200 millimeter is very nice because it's big enough, but again, not too big that it fits in your car nicely. And a 45 amp ESC. You can see the finish on the airplane. And one nice thing I just realized is this plane actually comes in the single finish, but you can make 5 different airplanes out of it with different markings on it. And what I'll do is I'll run around here to the side of the box, show you what those look like. Comes with stickers for the Soviet Air Force, with the Soviet Air Force markings. You can see what those look like there. Also with the British RAF markings, which is really pretty slick. Probably my favorite of all of them is the American USAF markings with the skull on the front of it. That's one of the more kind of distinguished, or ones that actually stand out more than most. But those are included as well, and it shows you where those all go. And then as I flip this box around, you can see some detail here on the side of what that one looks like. I think that's pretty slick. And then as I run around here, also included here is the Australian RAAF markings. So if you're from Australia, we got you covered here. And then also Dutch markings, which I thought was really pretty slick. I like the that logo there, looks like with the bull on there. Very, very cool that they include 5 different markings on this airplane. A couple features on here just to show you: split flaps, retractable landing gear, and a bomb drop system included. So it looks like there's a magnetic bomb drop unit on here. Very, very nice system on this thing, guys. So as I put the box aside, which, guys, you can tell this box is huge. It's very, very thin, okay, but it's very, very big sideways. So shipping this thing, it comes in a big kind of flat box. I'll put that thing aside, and you can kind of see what it looks like inside here. You can see all the stickers that come with this thing. So 5 different color options or sticker options that you can put on this thing. You can see everything's bagged, padded very nicely in here. They're doing a great job packaging this stuff over at Hobby King. Anyway, let's get all the parts out, and we'll lay them all out and get a closer look at everything. You can see the layout of all the parts that came out of the box. A lot of stuff prefabricated, just a few screws, and pretty much everything does go together. One thing I can't include in there that's really too big is all the stickers that come with this, like you just saw in that last clip. Again, guys, lots of stickers come with this to make, again, 5 different airplanes out of this. So very, very complete. It's really nice that they thought of not having just one paint scheme out there and everybody's got the same plane out there. Now you guys can put whatever decals you want on there and fly many airplanes around with different paint jobs on them. So it's kind of nice. Right here, guys, you can see the fuselage with the motor, speed controller, servos pre-installed already for your elevator rudder. Tail wheels already on there, and the wing up top here, everything's already pre-installed. Retracts, flaps, flap servos, and aileron servos. Your 2 elevator pieces, your prop and spinner, and the magnetic bomb that drops, and then your hardware bag right here, and of course your instruction manual. First glance, everything looks really nice. Very, very nice fit and finish overall. Let's take a look at some of the individual parts and get a much closer look at them. The first part up is the main fuselage. Really nice job they're doing here at the factory on these. The finish is pretty stellar. As you get right down and close on this thing, you could see they just did a nice job finishing this off. I don't know if they're just molding this and painting this, or if somebody's doing some body work on this, but the finish on this thing is fantastic. It doesn't really even look like foam, except for maybe just a couple small areas, but it is just glassy, smooth with a flat finish all over it. Really nice engine detail. You can just check that out, how nice those stacks are coming out of there. And nice big nose like the P-40Ns had. And lots of cooling down there. You can see where the speed controller runs. Motors in there, secured really nicely. Looks like it's right in the center too. So very nice overall. As we run across the bottom here, you can see where your cowl flap glues onto, and there's some cooling, some exhaust coming out of there as well, which is real nice. The cowl flap is in the parts bag there. And as we run across, you can see the servos are actually inverted in here. So in order to get to those, you actually got to get the wing off if you need to get to those for any reason. So I prefer them up top, but they're underneath, and that's where you access them. You can see all your screw holes. I usually like to see those made out of brass and threaded and a machine screw as opposed to a self-tapping screw, but it'll get the job done. It's not a big airplane, so load is not tremendously high on it. The finish on this foam is tremendous. The molds they're using are just very nice. It's a very precision molded foam. You see some cooling holes here in the back, some exhaust, and then the cockpit detail is pretty darn awesome. Rivets all the way around. It's painted the same color, really just like the real airplane the P-40N was. Instrument panel in there. Pretty standard pilot we see in a lot of these airplanes. That same guy gets to fly a lot of stuff. And then a real nice instrument panel in there. Looks like it's like a photograph or something. As we run along the tail wheel right here, real nice. If I had one complaint about this plane, it'd probably be, man, I'd love to see a tail retract on this thing. But you can't have everything. It's very nice design there. They have a very nice aluminum arm for steering. With a set screw that you can get to. It's kind of tough to get to that. You have to use a bent Allen screw to get in there. It'd be nice if it was going the other way, but it makes adjusting the tail relatively easy since your rudder and your tail wheel are all on the same servo. This makes it very easy to adjust. So, but you can see where your elevator plugs in, your screws go in, spar is going to run through the middle, and you can see right here the linkage here for the tail. It looks like a very tough clevis type link. You do have to put your horns on, obviously, here, and you can see a nice foam hinge. But again, guys, look at the finish on this thing. It has a very, very nice finish all the way around. I really like just the finish job on this is tremendous. Obviously, it'll accept the stickers very easily because everything is very smooth. Now, looking inside this, typically you have your cockpit come off, but in this case, it's actually a nose piece here. So you grab this this tape here. Nose comes off, tongue and groove here in the front with a rare earth magnet in the back that holds everything in. And you can see real nice, very slick DURAFLY battery strap. Really nice, adds a nice finish touch to the whole thing. You can see here the foam battery tray, battery liner. Looks very familiar to me. I usually put some of that shelf liner stuff to keep the battery from sliding. This foam stuff does the same job, so they're really doing a good job. Instead of just leaving a bare wood floor in there, putting something in there that the battery will stick to without having to use Velcro. Keeps it from sliding around. Really, really nice. You can see the speed controller buried down in there, and all your wires to plug into your receiver, because your receiver will go back in here. But really, really nice design, guys. Very nice fuselage. Got to give this thing an A+++ for the fit and the finish on this thing. They're really doing a tremendous job over there at DURAFLY and Hobby King in making some really nicely finished airplanes. The next item up to show you here, guys, is the main wing. Again, you can see how stellar the finish is on this. I'll get it right up to the camera here. You can just see how nice this thing is. It almost, again, doesn't even look like foam hardly. They did such a good job with the finishing of this plane. Should be pretty fast. Can't wait to get this one out there. You can see some of the gun detail on here. They did a great job on that. Great aileron detail. You do want to exercise your control surfaces a little bit. They tend to be a little bit rigid out of the box, so you flex them a little bit so your servo don't have to work quite so hard. As we run into the center here, a couple neat things to note. This is the servo that drives the rare earth magnets for the bomb release, and you can see those magnets in there, and those magnets are connected to a servo, which is pretty slick. So when you hit your bomb switch, it rotates the magnets for the polarity, and then the bomb drop mechanism, which I'll pull here, actually comes right off of there. And I'll show you that from the underside, show you what that looks like. But by rotating the servo and rotating the magnets, you basically just change the polarity of the magnets. You remove the magnetism and the bomb falls. So really ingenious design overall, but great molding on this whole thing. Really nice fillet that runs all the way around to the back. Very, very slick. Now flipping this over to the underside, again, really nice finish overall all the way around. You can see all the spars that run through here, and you can also tell that there's a spar that runs through the center section, so the wing is pretty darn rigid. And as you run along here, again, you can see all the servos mounted for your ailerons, servos mounted for your flaps, and a really nice plastic flap here that they actually painted with sort of a zinc chromate finish. So really, really nice in scale and a really precision closing flap. You just have to add your horns to everything on this airplane. No big deal. Very simple, very easy to do. Those are all included in the hardware package. And then of course the retracts with a spring-loaded door right here, and they open right up. You can see the metal trunnions with the metal drag pin, and those we'll see how those function. But they even painted the inside zinc chromate also too, so really nice scale detail all the way around. Wing doublers already added and painted and everything in there, and they're ready to just screw on. The wing goes on with just 4 screws. The bomb here attached with rare earth magnets again in here. You can see that white barrel in there with magnets, and the polarity is set up to accept the bomb. But when that rotates, when you hit the switch and it rotates that barrel, it releases the polarity, or reverses the polarity, and the bomb drops. So really nice kind of non-mechanical but magnetic attachment point for this bomb. Very, very slick, guys. Really impressed with this thing. Coming from DURAFLY and Hobby King, you can see just how beautiful of a finish that wing has. Very nice, definitely A+++. Here's a quick look at the horizontal stabilizer and the elevator halves. You can see that these just stick together. There is a spar in the parts bag that plugs in there, and then the two halves with this sort of teardrop looking kind of D-shaped connector joins these two together. There's no play in these at all. Really, really nice, and lots of surface area on these plastic parts to distribute the load, and then a couple screws go in here to get the tail in the fuselage. See where the spar pocket runs through there. Again, you want to exercise these a little bit, just make sure that they're free moving so the servos don't have to work too hard. Again, guys, just an excellent finish on this thing. You can see how nice this thing is, how smooth it is. Really impressed with the finish on this model. Here's a quick look at the prop and the spinner on this thing. Really nice scale spinner. The design is very good. It has a nice plug in here. You can see in the back here, you turn this around, just sort of plug it right in. It's got some notches in the side, and that fits right in, and you put a screw through. So really nice design, and then this covers over the top of it and goes on. So really nice scale, 3-bladed prop. I think in the sticker package there's some Curtis stickers to put on there to make it a little more scale, but overall real nice quality here on the prop and the spinner. Last up is the parts bag. You can see here the cowl flap here that goes underneath the front section right down here. That just probably just glues on, but all your push rods, your double-sided Velcro tape there, probably for your battery, I'm assuming, spar for the tail section, and some scale details, antennas, pitot tubes, push rods to put on for your linkages and everything. So really complete parts bag. Last but not least is the instruction manual, and this thing's actually pretty hefty. There is a lot of stuff in here that's good to look at. I really like that Air Force one with the skull on there. That's pretty cool. Something tells me that's what I'm going to be putting on mine. Very neat. Anyway, it shows you here just all the things that I really just showed you here, the layout of all the parts and all the stickers that come with this thing. I'm going to be running this Zippy Compact 2200 in there. I think that's really all you need, 4-cell pack. We'll run a 3-cell in it too, just a demo for you guys, show you what it looks like on 3 cells. I think it'll probably be plenty powerful on 3 cells. Instruction manual looks pretty decent. It shows you really how to get all the horns on, all the rods on, the basic stuff. Screwing the big parts together, screwing your prop together. It seems like it does a really good job showing that. I haven't gone through it yet myself 100%, but as I looked at it here, it shows you gluing the pitot tubes, drop tank, and everything. So it does definitely give you some good information. As we go along here, some things to look at, control throws that it gives you right here. And they talk about flap deflections and so forth, which is really nice. They give you a lot of detail on this stuff. They talk about the drop tank and, of course, the center of gravity. Real important. I hadn't flown it yet, so I'm not sure if this is totally right, but the positioning of it there looks like it's about right, so it probably ought to work well. So 55 to 65 millimeters after the leading edge at the root. So another thing I noticed in here, too, is the angle of the battery, and I think what that is the battery has to fit far enough into the nose, and in order to get it to go far enough into the nose right behind the motor, you gotta angle it a little bit, and you can see from that picture here what that looks like, so you get it far enough forward. So if you're not getting the right CG, make sure your battery's getting far enough up there, and at the same time not contacting the center shaft of the motor if it happens to be sticking out of the back of the motor. I hadn't really looked at that quite close yet, but that's just something to keep in mind. And then as we roll around here, you can see there, that's a Russian paint job. That looks pretty slick. And a couple things, they do go into, they show all the parts here, but they do go into applying the decals. And Stuart over at Hobby King did a video on this plane where he actually showed some decal techniques and tips which really seem to help out a lot. And they also show you sealing them after you put them on with an iron. So it's probably a good idea to follow these directions and kind of see what's in here about securing those on there, and that definitely kind of seals them on so they don't peel off, you know, as you're flying around. But they have all the schematics here in this instruction manual for putting all the decals on. They show exactly where they all go for all the different paint jobs, and it's all in color too. So it's really complete how they've done this on there, guys. You can go crazy with these stickers. Pick out one good pattern and put it on there, and hopefully there's the prop. Hopefully your buddy's using a different decal package, but it's kind of nice to be able to make any one of 5 of these different paint jobs for this plane. Anyway, guys, that concludes this review there for the DURAFLY. From Hobby King, Curtis P-40N. Check it out there. We will be getting this thing out to the flying field. Me and Pete will probably give you some flight demos of this on 3 and 4 cells, so be looking for that. Thanks, guys, for checking out RC Informer, and as always, we'll see you next time.